Good day all, and welcome to the next video in my series of my DVD collection overview, or whatever it is I'm calling it. So today we're going to take a look at the horror section. And like I said, my cataloging is by no means perfect, so some things may be in here that shouldn't be there, and some of my horror movies may have ended up in other sections. So we'll find them eventually if they're not here. So we'll start over here. So start off with some of these cheap things that you can get at Walmart. The I Know What You Did Last Summer, the trilogy, which really only the first movie is really worth watching. But still, I guess, almost considered a horror scary movie classic. Obviously, the Scream trilogy, featuring the first three. I never bothered actually watching the fourth. Ghost Ship. Okay, yeah, maybe this one was a little bit disappointing. I thought it would be cool with the ship and stuff. I haven't seen this in years, but from what I remember, it just wasn't the best. It's still here, though. Signs. A lot of people don't like this movie. I actually really like this. This is before Mel Gibson went insane. Probably one of the last movies he did before that. Cold Creek Manor. I guess sort of classic haunted house movie. This particular one I haven't actually watched yet. This is from Walmart's $5 bin. This is Dracula, the 1991 remake. Here we have Dracula 2000, the somewhat less impressive remake, but hey, it's still here. Dreamcatcher. Okay, this movie's kind of disgusting, I'll give it that. Anyone who's seen it, but, you know, still classic Stephen King, which, you know, I guess is what Stephen King's all about. The old classic Evil Dead 2, and no, I don't have Evil Dead 1 in my collection. I really don't have any excuse for that, it's just not there. So Evil Dead 2, I love this movie. Some people think it's over the top, but to be honest with the Evil Dead movies, over the top was kind of the point. Then the follow-up on Blu-ray, Army of Darkness. Forgotten, kind of a suspense movie. Fear.com, she bought many years ago from Blockbuster. I wonder how long ago that was. 2003. And I actually haven't watched this from since 2003, but it's still kind of hanging around in my collection. I don't actually remember much about that movie at all. Maybe to be honest, I don't think I cared much for it. Maybe at some point I'll watch it and tell you what I think of it with a new perspective. Final Destination. Final Destination 2, and I know they've made a bunch more after those. I don't know, they're at 5 now or something. I haven't seen anything after Final Destination 2. From Hell, Johnny Depp. Salem's Lot. This is classic Stephen King. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, this is the 2003 remake. I don't have the original, but I actually love this movie. I tend to watch it every Halloween. It's one of the few remakes that I personally like, but I know a lot of people didn't like this one, but I guess teach his own. Out of the bargain bin, Disturbia. Guess this could almost, well, no, drama, horror, something like that, but Shia LaBeouf, yes, he's in everything these days, unfortunately. But, I don't know, it's okay for a cheap movie. And a classic, or at least what I consider to be a classic, 28 Days Later. Great movie. And then, obviously, the follow-up, 28 Weeks Later. Okay, this movie is a little sick, but this is the remake of Wes Craven's Last House on the Left. The Others, kind of classic suspense story. Also features Christopher Eccleston, which many people will know who, well, he doesn't really feature in it, he's just in it briefly, and many people will know him as being Doctor Who number 9, who played the Doctor for one season and then quit. And sorry for that jump cut there, I just had to rearrange some movies that were in places that they weren't supposed to be. So now we go to Carrie, another Stephen King classic. Then we go from there to The Rage, Carrie 2, somewhat less than stellar sequel from about 1999, so 12 years ago. The Fog, kind of another one of these movies that's, you know, just hanging around. Not a great movie, but House on Haunted Hill. The first time I saw this, I actually thought it wasn't bad. Then several years later, I watched it again, and realized it actually was kind of bad. I'm still here though. Constantine, Keanu Reeves, Darkness Falls, more classic Stephen King and, well, Stanley Kubrick, The Shining. Probably hands down the best of the Stephen King movies, except for The Stand, which was a made-for-TV movie several years ago, and that I never actually have purchased on DVD or Blu-ray, and I do plan on getting that at some point. Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Here we have Dawn of the Dead, the original. This is probably one of the coolest movies ever made. It's the one where zombies go loose in a mall, and it's gory as hell, and pretty much on any classic horror fan's top list. The remake wasn't really that great, but it's still pretty good. Well, I won't say pretty good. Okay, watchable. I'm not quite sure. I don't know where I'm going with that, but well, it's still there. Day of the Dead. Somewhat not quite a successful sequel, but still decent movie. This is one of those that at some point I picked up at one of those dollar discs. Haven't quite watched it. Or one of those dollar DVD bins. Resident Evil, Apocalypse, Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, and Blair Witch 1 is hanging around here somewhere. And it's not in this section, it ended up somewhere else, which I will feature later. Like I said, I'm still kind of in the process of rearranging the DVD collection. When a Stranger Calls, I think I got that one for $2. Silence of the Lambs. This one could be in horror or you could put it in drama, sort of a suspense thriller, but I put it in horror. The other Hannibal Lecter movies I tend to keep over in my drama section. I don't know, it's just the way I've organized them. Bruce Willis, The Sixth Sense, I See Dead People, and so forth. More classic Johnny Depp, Sleepy Hollow. Really nice movie, very gory movie, but still one that I've always liked. I don't know why this is in here. This probably shouldn't be in there. Black Hawk Down, that will go in action. This actually shouldn't be in here either. Broken Arrow. So I'll fix that later. 13 Ghosts. Another movie from the late 1990s. Okay, and sorry for the little jump cut there. So next 28 Days Later. Urban Legends Final Cut. John Carpenter presents Vampires, so Vampires. To be honest, I haven't actually watched that one. That was also from the